Now we have the Eighth Amendment.
Yeah.
And the Eighth Amendment, as I was reading and going back and refreshing my memory of some of the stuff, because I wasn't a criminal law attorney when I was in practice. Um, but from my notes back from law school, which I still have, that's a whole different level of crazy, but there it is anyway. I remember writing down the Eighth Amendment is to protect and reflect society's views on humane treatment, to prohibit the government uh, from overly hostile penalties and overly hostile actions against someone who has been charged with a crime. So it prohibits excessive bail and excessive fines, and it prohibits cruel and unusual punishment.
So,
As Lou the prosecutor laughs.
I mean, and the whole thing is the Eighth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment and the Eighth Amendment go sort of hand in hand because the Sixth Amendment, you have the right to a public and speedy trial. And so the key word in relation for the Sixth Amendment to the Eighth Amendment is speedy trial,
Right,
because the Eighth Amendment is against excessive bail. And so you see a lot of the things that are going on right now. You have these criminal justice reform bills where they're changing the bail bond structure, where bail is designed to require, going back historically, it was required for a surety or somebody to be able to put forth money to say, yes, we want this person out of jail. We are willing to put our house up to guarantee that this person will actually return to court if you release them from jail pending a trial. And so it's a way where, you know, it prevented the government from holding people indefinitely waiting for trial, because back in the day, it could be years. And in fact, now, in most of the court system, the way that the courts are so backlogged, you could be held waiting trial for 1, 2, 3 years sometimes, or more, depending upon the situation.
right,
Um, and there's a lot of rules that come into play there. So, before you jump on me and say, well, Lou, that's not fair. There's a lot of different ways to calculate it and other things like that. But so the Eighth Amendment prohibiting against excessive bail means that the courts cannot set a bail or bond so high where it prevents somebody from getting out of jail completely. And then people are like, well, what about like the $1 million bonds that are set for some of these people? Well, you take a look at a lot of the different things. Take a look at the person's criminal history, their ties with the community, the seriousness of the crime, other things like that. Those are the main ones where the court takes a look at that to say, okay, well, the person doesn't have significant ties with the community. This is a heinous crime, and that the likelihood of them fleeing to avoid trial are so significant where if somebody's going to be putting forward money or surety or something else to get this person out of jail, we want a significant incentive for them to make sure that this person shows the hell up in court.
right.
So, but that's where, so the Sixth Amendment and the Eighth Amendment tie in together on that, where you want to make sure a case goes to trial quickly, and that you want to make sure that, that if that somebody is not held and unnecessarily in jail waiting trial.
Yeah, and the language of the Eighth Amendment really is brief. It
Right.
says excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted.
Right. Right. And I mean, you had a lot of challenges to the death penalty where death penalty is overturned because it was considered cruel and unusual. There's a lot of different things that were considered, where, there's been challenges to cruel and unusual punishment, but that's mainly where it falls in, is the death penalty type of cases.
Right,
But yeah, so I mean, those are the main amendments that deal with the governmental, I'll call it the governmental, although it's mainly the criminal court process. It's a governmental court process. Whenever the government takes an action against somebody, either in criminal or civil court, that these rights apply.